I love you.
Hello and welcome back to Director's Choice. The cartoon Adventure Time has become popular over the years for a variety of reasons. One of them being its eclectic cast of characters that create a diverse alternate universe full of vampires, unicorns, and shapeshifters. The large number of unique characters with fascinating backstories make the two main characters, Jake and Finn, seem almost normal, despite their eccentric personalities and abilities. Although Jake is classified as a magical dog, there is so much more to him and his powers than meets the eye. In this video, we're going to dive into who Jake is, his history, and how he became the lovable magical dog and adopted brother we see in Adventure Time. Jake is one half of the duo that are the main characters of the show, as he is constantly seen at Finn's side as they fight monsters and go on journeys together. He is referred to as a magical dog, but his powers and abilities go beyond that. He has what he calls stretchy powers, which allow him to stretch and contort his body to any shape of his choosing. He can go so far as to relocate his teeth, bones, and internal organs to specific regions of his body to morph himself into various forms, like in the first season, when he shifts all of his blood and internal organs into his thumb.
Aren't you dead?
Nah, before she bit me, I used my powers to shrink all my guts and blood over my thumb.
Jake utilizes this power to his advantage in a variety of different ways that help him and Finn overcome obstacles on their many adventures together. The power he uses most frequently with this is Key Hand, which allows Jake to turn his hand into a skeleton key that will open any lock, as long as he can tap into his stretchy powers.
Don't worry, Finn. I'll get us out with Key Hand.
Oh, no, you won't.
Beyond his shape-shifting abilities, Jake also has a host of eccentric hobbies and talents that make him even more fascinating. He loves to sing and dance, and actually sings a song while dancing in the moments after his birth before going to sleep.
Shine the light, dear. Yowzers!
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mommy. It's so nice to be here with you now.
He also speaks Korean fluently, a skill that helps Jake develop a relationship with Lady Rainicorn, a flexible unicorn who only speaks Korean.
Try saying something, Toots.
And then I ate all the peaches in the orchard, and that farmer was so angry.
And later becomes a father when the couple has 5 children.
I'll be right back.
Jake's most important connection in the show is to Finn, who is his adoptive brother. The two of them together are the protagonists of the show. The whole show revolves around their chaotic antics as they travel to help friends in trouble with their unusual fighting and magical skills. Even though they are not biologically related, it does not affect their brotherly bond at all, and they are in fact best friends. Even when they have arguments in the show, they reconcile shortly after and return right back to their shenanigans like nothing has changed.
Man, I don't want to hear that stuff. Let me get in there.
Let's never be stupid again.
Wait, let's always be stupid. Forever.
Despite his strange origins and unique abilities, Jake had a relatively normal upbringing. He was raised by Joshua and Margaret alongside his brother Jermaine. When Jake and Jermaine were still young, Joshua and Margaret found an infant Finn abandoned in the woods and decided to take him in. So Finn became Jake's adopted brother.
What do you want, baby? Why are you crying? Margaret, this baby won't tell me what's wrong with it, and it's stuck to a leaf, and it stinks.
Give it here, Joshua. This baby just needs some love and kisses to be happy.
When Jake moves into the tree fort with Finn after the death of their parents, Jake has good memories of his times with his parents in his childhood home. Jake initially believes that he developed his powers after rolling in a puddle of mud as a puppy, and doesn't think much about the origin of his powers beyond that. Although he lived for a while as a notorious criminal, by the time the show begins, he has decided to leave behind his criminal past to enjoy a calm, peaceful life with his brother in the tree fort. Even though Jake has mostly positive feelings and memories about his childhood and his parents, it's clear that his understanding about where he really came from and how he developed his powers are a little warped. Even when Jake reveals the story behind his birth in the episode Joshua and Margaret Investigations in Season 6, his comments to Finn make it clear that he has not yet put together the meaning of the events that led up to his birth. The episode starts with Finn, Jake, and BMO celebrating Jake's birthday with a party and a cake.
Birthday, 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 birthday.
Finn asks Jake for a birthday story about their parents. So Jake tells them the story of the day he was born. It was at night when Margaret was near the end of her pregnancy with Jermaine, and she and Joshua traveled to the forest where tree trunks lived to figure out who had been eating her pies. When they find the culprit, Tree Trunks asks the couple to continue looking for the shapeshifter because it had purposely touched multiple people on their planet, and then walked away, cackling suspiciously.
Oh, now I got myself all scared. Won't you check around to make sure no one is out there?
Joshua agrees to look until he realizes there really is a monster and tries to leave, but Margaret insists on tracking it down. When they come across the shape-shifting creature that Tree Trunks told them about, an interdimensional being we come to know later as Warren Ampersand. Warren gets a hold of Joshua as he defends his pregnant wife and bites him on the head.
Drop that daddy!
Margaret fends off the shapeshifter and takes Joshua home. It's not long before she must leave again to search for ingredients for an antidote to save him from the shapeshifter's venom. But just as she is returning home with the ingredients for the antidote, Joshua essentially gives birth to Jake out of the lump that had been growing where the creature had bit him on the head. The couple agree never to tell Jake about his true origins, which Jake still doesn't understand, even after telling the story to Finn and BMO himself.
And so they never told me.
Never told you what?
I don't know. They never told me.
This reveals that his powers didn't come from rolling in a puddle as a puppy, as he had grown up believing, but from his biological relationship with the creature that bit his father's head. He doesn't fully comprehend his parentage and where his powers come from until he meets Warren Ampersand later on as an adult in the episode Jake the Star Child, when Warren kidnaps Jake and tells him that he is Jake's alien bio-dad.
You and Jake both have sort of a grapefruit nature to you.
I came to your playhouse because I'm worried about Jake.
Don't worry, he's fine. He left a note.
How long ago did he leave that?
In the same episode, we learn that Jake's dad is an alien who travels across worlds so he can create children in multiple dimensions.
Oh! So this cosmic stuff. Planets and space.
Suddenly, Tree Trunk's concern over Warren's strange behavior before Joshua and Margaret encountered him made sense. He was initiating physical contact with as many citizens of Ooo as possible, because as an alien, that was his way of procreating. Unfortunately for Warren, but fortunately for everyone else, the only child he was able to create on Ooo was Jake. Jake's dad acts very welcoming towards his son and takes him to his home planet, where he is greeted with a suspiciously warm welcome by the locals. It's all very nice until it comes out that the planet and the people were illusions created by a dying Warren, so that he could steal Jake's stretchy powers as he had done to hundreds of his children before him. Fortunately, Jake is able to get his powers back and save his family from a similar fate by throwing Warren and his ship into a black hole.
That sometimes, for our own good, we must accept the loss of that which we hold most dear.
I've learned that I just gotta work even harder to get it back.
In the Elements miniseries, which happens before the episode where Jake meets Warren, there are some pretty major hints dropped about Jake's origins. The miniseries begins when Jake and Finn return from one of their adventures to find that the land of Ooo has been transformed by elemental magic that has spiraled out of control. Each of the kingdoms has been overrun by their own elemental magic: ice, fire, candy, and slime. Jake and Finn, along with some of their friends, set out on a journey to restore order to the kingdom. But while the group is out looking for jewels that a woman named Betty claims can reverse the effects of the overactive elemental magic, several members are lost to the elements themselves in the process. While trying to retrieve a jewel from the slime kingdom, Jake is absorbed in slime, and only LSP and Finn are able to escape. After a few mishaps, LSP and Jake get their hands on the jewels, and they quickly discover that LSP may be an anti-elemental, since lumps are the material that makes up everything on Ooo, and therefore are able to return everything and everyone to their original state. Once they realize this, LSP uses her powers and the jewels to return Ooo and all of its citizens back to normal. When Jake and Finn are reunited, Jake is massive, blue, and has 5 eyes.
Hey, buddy!
Jake? Are you okay?
Yeah. You know, everything looks different after a long trip.
This appearance hints that Jake's true form is not the small orange dog we're so used to seeing, but that of a shapeshifter. His appearance does not make total sense until the following season where we meet Warren, and his resemblance to his bio dad finally establishes that Jake is not a magical dog, but instead is a shapeshifter who prefers to take the shape of a small dog that resembles the parents who took him in. Jake is present through most, if not the entire show's run, as a seemingly ordinary magical dog who loves singing, dancing, and his family. Fortunately, the TV series takes the time to show his mysterious origins and what happened to make the dog magical in the first place. All of the characters in this show have fascinating, mystical backgrounds that make them and their relationships with the others more compelling. And this shows that Jake is no different. Throughout his life, he was shown that he wasn't biologically related to any of the family that took him in, but he continued to pick them above others every time. As an intergalactic shapeshifter, the possibilities are endless for Jake, but he still chooses to stay in Ooo and settle down to live a relatively normal life. Knowing his full history and potential makes us appreciate Jake and his relationships with his friends and family that much more. Take a look at these other recent clips by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.
I'm gonna be the best dad ever.